Gallipolis, perhaps we should have spared a thought for where we were going afterward, because now here we were, and there was no going back. Our host, the tawny, short-haired, big-eared Pshaw-Ra, pilot of the pyramid ship, was the only one among us who knew anything about this mysterious world, and he had been far too busy smiling into his long black whiskers to provide a narrative preview of the place that he had promised would be our new home. All he had confided in me was that cats here were very advanced, worshipped as gods, and were bent on universal domination. That was fine for him. Most of the other feline passengers who came with us were still in a state of shock from recent events. In the past weeks, my race, including my mother and two of my brothers, had gone from being valued crew members, guardians of their ship's safety and beloved fur-coated surrogate children of their human crewmates, to being labeled the vectors of an unknown disease, incarcerated in dirty cages in a crowded laboratory, and threatened with mass extinction. Several Barque Cats, it was rumored, had already been sacrificed on the altar of scientific inquiry, and the others feared they would soon follow. Then Pshaw-Ra decided that we, too, who were traveling together at that time, should rescue them, not because he was such a benevolent cat, but because, A, we fit in with his plans for the previously mentioned universal domination, B, it was the fault of him and his accursed Kiefer-Ka, the delicious kika bugs we all loved to eat, that we were mistakenly thought to have a disease in the first place, and C, Jubal and I wouldn't have stood for any other course of action. But once we were inside the ship, and the other cats had time to absorb the fact that they were no longer in cramped, dirty cages in a strange place, but were now in cramped quarters, rapidly getting dirty, aboard strange space vessels, they immediately wanted to find something to hide under or to attack, each according to his or her nature. Desperation clawed every available surface, including some human ones. Desolation yowled in ear-splitting decibels throughout the ship. Despair shed carpets of hair that floated through the air as if fur could bond with oxygen. My fellow cats who had saved 1,000 ships, okay, maybe a slight exaggeration, but lots of ships, were thoroughly bedraggled, bewildered, and frustrated. Fortunately, thanks to Pshaw-Ra's mouse hole, a cat-created shortcut through space, our trip was not a lengthy one. One moment we were fleeing with galactic government attacker ships hot on our tails. The next, we were surrounded by space empty of other ships, with a sandy-colored planet looming ahead. In the far distance were one large star and two smaller ones, but no other ships that we could see. We passed a moon on our left. It seemed to be circled by a bristling cloud of something or other. "What's all that?" I asked Pshaw-Ra, indicating the cloud. "State-of-the-art terraforming equipment in its day," Pshaw-Ra replied. "It transformed Mao from an uninhabitable chunk of rock to the paradise you see before us." I beheld the big planet, most of it a nondescript beige growing ever larger in the viewport. It continued to fail appearing any more impressive. I said, "Some paradise. Once great cities and pyramids rose from the sand, but that was in ancient times. Ours was among the earliest colonies to be settled, and when the great colonial corporations decided they could do better elsewhere, they took many of our people to newer worlds. Mao serves its purpose quite adequately for the rest of us, however, at least until we are ready to rule the universe." "Right," I said. "Do not judge a planet by its surface, catling," he said sharply. "I have many wonders left to show you." "I can hardly wait," I said, cleaning delicately under my tail. "Just wait until we are given our hero's welcome, the choicest tidbits placed before us, the most alluring mates offering themselves, our two-legged slaves providing every imaginable comfort." "What's that about two-legged slaves, Chester?" My boy Jubal sent me the thought privately. The short-furred tawny cat couldn't have heard it because he was too busy gloating about the joys